Hi, my beautiful friends. Let's get started. I'm on my new camera, so hopefully it's nice and clear. We are going to work on the crown of the Burst of Kindness beanie. Today I'm going to use Big Twist value. It's 100% acrylic. It's got 380 yards. This says it only makes one hat, but I made lots of hats. And we could probably get 2.5, 3 hats out of this. This is a 4-weight medium. You're going to need a 5mm hook, but I'm going to use a 5.5. You'll need a stitch marker, and today we're just going to work on the crown, but oh, look, you can see what time it is. Let's see how long this takes me. So it's Sunday the 13th. It is almost 11, so we will see how long this actually takes me. So I've center pull, but you do however way it makes you feel comfortable. But in the meantime, let me go let the dogs in, and then we'll get started. So you're going to start with a magic circle. I do the double loop magic circle, which is basically wrap around twice. A hook. Go in the hook, pull up a loop, chain 1. Now I'm going to put my stitch marker on that loop that's on the hook, and we are going to do extended single 6 times all the way around. And to do an extended, you go into the loop, pull up a loop, yarn, well, that looks like a yarn under, go through the loop once, yarn under, and go through the loop twice. So that will give you a V-stitch. So do that 5 more times. 1, 2, go 1 and 2. Alright, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, one more. Alright, so let's inspect this stitch a little bit further. So if you look at it very closely, you have a V on top and a V on the bottom. Can you see that? Or is it's blowing it out? But you have your 6 on there. Now we're gonna do the magic part. And so you have your 2 loops, you have your tail. You pull the tail slightly, whichever of the 2 goes in first, you gotta pull that one first. So take your tail, just pull it slightly, and you see that one moved. So you're gonna pull that one first. And that one will go in until it's completely closed. Now you pull your tail, and that one disappears. Alright, so we place a stitch marker here, but we're not going to go in that loop, and we don't join. So how do I fix the brightness of this, because it's really bright? Is that better? Okay, hopefully that's a little bit better. Okay, so inspection again. We have the bottom V and the top V of the stitch. That is like really blowing it out. Not really happy with this. Anyway, I'm gonna pull a little bit more. That was round 1, which was 6 extended singles in your magic loop. Okay. And for round 2, we are going to do an extended single inside the extended single on that bottom loop of that extended single. Actually, let's move the stitch marker. Okay. Now we're gonna go back into that extended single and do a front loop extended single on the post of the extended single. So that's an increase. So now the next one is here. Go extend it inside that. Extend it. And we're going to do a front post extended into that stitch. Okay, so now you got one post, 2, 3, and 4. Go into the bottom V of that extended single, and then do a front post extended. And just keep doing that until you're all the way back to the beginning of the row, which at the end of row 2 you should have 12 stitches. Oh. Okay. Oh, Alaska, she didn't want to come in earlier. Now she wants to come in. Almost done with this row. She's gonna wait. Last one. And I carry the tail, so we don't have to sew it in, but if you didn't carry your tail, you could sew it in at the end. Oh, keep dropping it. So front post extended on the previous extended. Alright, so let's just yank this a little bit to cinch it up. So we should have 12 stitches. Move it around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and this one here is 12. Okay, I'm going to move the stitch marker up to the last stitch. And there you have it. Row 2 is completed. And basically I'm going to just carry this all the way around until it gets weaved in. But row 2, recap, is extended in the previous extended, and then front post extended in that same post. Okay, and you should have 12 stitches. I'll be back for round 3. Okay, so now we're going to start row 3. I'm going to pull a little bit more out here. Row 3 is going to be pretty much consistent all the way until you get the hat, or the top of the hat, to the size that you need it to be. And for me, the hats that I make are typically from the bottom of your heel of your hand to the top of your middle finger. Extend it out. So with this being a 5.5 and this is a 4 weight, it could go up anywhere between 10, 11 rows, which we'll get there when we get there. But for the most part, every single row from row 3 until the hat is the width or circumference that you need it to be, it's pretty much the same, which is basically an extended in the extended in each extended, and then you're gonna do an increase, which this time, instead of going into the post and then doing a front post, you're gonna go on top of the post and then around the post to make the verse. And let me show you. So you're gonna go into the V of the extended post and still carry that tail, pull up a loop, turn over, and pull through 2. There's your extended, and you can see a little bit better here because it's not as crowded. So that was an extended in the extended. Now we're gonna go into the top of the front post extended and do an extended, and then we're gonna go into the actual front post and do a front post extended. So there you have increased your stitch count to 3. Now for every row that you're on, between the posts should be the number of stitches that you have. So extend it into the extended, and we're going to increase by going extended on top of the front post extended, and then a front post extended into the previous front post extended. Does that make sense? We'll keep going around until you make it back to your stitch marker, and at the end of row 3 you should have 18 stitches. So I'm just gonna keep going, and basically this will time how long it takes for me to complete the crown. Not that it should take you the same amount of time, or you take your time until you can perfect it. This is not a race, and it's just a burst of kindness, Beanie. So be kind to yourself, love yourself, so you don't have room in your heart to hurt or be cruel to anyone else. We'll see how that string is almost gone, and we're going to do a final post. Alright, so we are at the end of row 3, and again you should have 18 stitches. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and this one here is 18. Okay, now with this stitch marker, you can keep moving it up to the next stitch if you want, but for the most part, I usually just leave it once I get to row 3, only because it's just going to be a repeat all the way around. So there you have it, row 3. And I'm going to start and stop each video or each row just so that I get time to see how long it takes. And Duncan is snoring really loud. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but yeah. Okay, on to row 4. Just a little bit left of this tail. Either you can clip it, or you can just keep going, which I'm going to do is keep going. So remember, each row that you do should be the number of stitches between each burst, which a burst is pretty much the legs of the crown, which you can kind of see here. Move that stitch marker. It's like a burst of the sun. Okay, so let's move on to row 4. At the end of row 4, you should have 24 stitches. So again, you're going to go and extend it in the extended 2 times, and then in an increase, which is an extended on top, and an extended in the post. And I just pull that tail just a little bit so it can get a little bit tighter. 1, 2, 1 on top, and around the post. Okay, so it pretty much went away. I'm just gonna pull it a little bit and then I'm gonna snip it because then it's just gonna get in the way, but I'll do that later. Extended in the extended, again, and then increase, so front post. Okay, 1 in the extended, 2 in the extended, 1 on top is 3, 1 around the post is 4. 24. Okay, so we made it to the end of row 4. You can start to see the posts popping out more, and it's growing. So at the end of this row, you should have 24. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and this one here is 24. There you have it, row 4. And that was 4.5 minutes. Okay, in row 5, again, you're going to have 5 stitches in each burst, and those stitches will be 3 extended in the previous extended on top of the post, and extended in front of the post, so that'll be 5. At the end of row 5, you should have 30. On top and around. Ooh. Last section. 1, 2, 3, 4, and around the post is 5. Well, look at that. That was only 3 minutes to complete that section. And row 5, you will have 30 stitches. Let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and this is 30. Voila. It's getting bigger. Not as big as my hand, but it is getting there, and you can see the burst a little bit better. So we'll move on to row 6 in just a second. Okay, so row 6, you are going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 extended singles, and then you're going to do an increase, which is an extended on top and an extended around the post. At the end of row 6, you'll have 36 stitches. Let's see. I'm going to shut up and just do it and see how long it takes. Six. Yet again, 3 minutes. Okay, so we're going to do row 7. At the end of row 7, you should have 42 stitches. And we're still going to do the same thing. 5 extended in the previous extended, and then an increase, which is an extended on top and an extended around the post. And that sun is really bright, you guys. So here we go. 41 and 42. So at the end of row 7 you should have 42 stitches. There you go. And that was 4 minutes. Okay, row 8, we are going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 extended singles in the previous extended, and then an increase, which is 1 on top and one around the post. And at the end of row 8, you should have 48 stitches. So let's get started. And around the post is 8. One more section. And 8. There you have it. Row 8 is complete and you should have 48 stitches. Let's measure. Nope, nowhere near. So maybe 2 more rows, but we'll see. Oh, and that was 4 minutes. Okay, row 9. You're going to have 7 extended single in the previous extended, and then an increase, which is 1 extended on top of the front post and then 1 around the front post. So at the end of row 9 you should have 54 stitches. And let's go. You okay, buddy? Two more. Stitch is 9. Alright, so there you have it. Row 9 is completed in 4.5 minutes. Let's measure. And can you see? Let me block the light. It looks knitted, right? I think so. So it's not quite there yet, almost. So most likely one more row. So I will meet you at row 10. Okay, so row 10, you're going to have 8 extended single in the previous extended, and then you're going to do an increase, which is an extended single crochet on top of the post, and then extended single crochet on the front post of the previous post. So at the end of row 10, you should have 60 stitches. And I just like to pull it. Alright, let's get started. and 10. Okay, that took about 5 minutes. So let's measure now. We can do the stretch test and measure from the heel to the top of my middle finger. I say we are right on target. Now, if you need it to go bigger, you just keep going until it measures the size that you need it to be. But for right now, I'm going to stop here and we're going to continue with row 11. Okay, so those who need measurements, I'm going to move the stitch marker up to this final stitch while I measure it. So from one end of the burst to the other end of the burst, it's about 7 inches. And this side is 6.5 inches, but if you stretch it a little bit, 6.5. Yeah, around 6.5 inches. Let's measure my hand. My hand is about 6 inches, which makes sense because I'm 5 feet. Alright, so there is the crown or the top of your hat. The next row here, which is row 11, we're not going to increase anymore, and instead we are just going to do half double crochet all the way around. But here is where you make it your own. I like to continue in the extended singles and do a front post on the front post. I'm sorry, with a half double crochet instead. So half double crochet is yarn over, go into the extended, pull up a loop. You have 3 loops, yarn over and pull through all 3, and do that all the way around. At the end of row 11 you should have 60 stitches. Okay, so now we're going to do a front post half double crochet on the front post and just keep going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so there you have it. Row 11 is done. And move my stitch marker up to that final stitch. There you have it. The light is really bright. The crown of the burst of kindness, Beanie. This will be part 1. I'm gonna keep going, but once you master this, I'm thinking about having a crochet along of making a burst of kindness of your own. So I hope to see you there. But in the meantime, tell me what you think. Were you able to do this, or was it too complicated? Now, just keep in mind that you don't necessarily just have to have the 6. You can have however many posts you want. On here, just remember however many you start with the magic circle, whether it be 6, 8, 10, 12, whatever makes you happy. I like to use 6 because multiples of 6 is something that I memorize from doing amigurumi, but whatever stitch count you start with should be the number of stitches times however many rows you have. So if you need to continue this to make it your size, I go by the hand method, so it hasn't failed me yet. But again, there's lots of posts that you can make or research to get exact measurements. And again, most of the hats that I make typically fit me, of course, and they will fit a child, whoever it may be. Whoever you're making the hat for, just take their measurements and then start the wheel. Burst of kindness crown completed. Thanks for watching, and I will be continuing with this hat, but it'll be on another post because I think this one's long enough. Oh, and this is the blanket that Tank made me. I believe it's called the whatchamacallit blanket, but I'm sitting here cross-legged crocheting in my couch. And just so you can see, the puppies are resting. Here's Duncan and Alaska. Oh, and Hertz food. But yeah, thank you again for watching. I hope to see you guys soon on a live, possibly, to do the crochet along with me on making a burst of kindness beanie. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.